Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brianne, and I'm going to give a few minutes for people to come on. Hey, welcome, Rambling Hick. Wonderful to see you, my friend. And Jory, my beautiful friend. Thank you so much for coming. I'm in my pajamas. I hope you're in your pajamas too. Otherwise, I'm the only one in my pajamas, right? I just took my bubble bath, and I was a sweaty mess because I had did a full workout at the gym, and I had run 5 miles before that. So I thought, you know what, I needed to take a bath, which I did, and I thought, I have the opportunity right now while my house is quiet to come on here for a little bit. So without notice, I'm here. So welcome. Oh, well, that's great, Dory. You know what? I love being in my pajamas. Welcome, Life's Adventure with Keto. Welcome. Thank you. Let me get you a blue wrench. Because I don't give notice, when I'm going to be on, because, well, frankly, I don't know when I'm going to be on. I just jump on and hope that at least one person will show up. Welcome, Deborah's Delicious Dishes, a wonderful, amazing channel. Deborah, your channel, anyone that doesn't know your channel, I hope they go over and connect with you, because you have this awesome channel. And I'm always sharing your new videos out. One of the things when I like a channel, and there's many that I do like, I share their videos out. And it's so free to share out, and people don't realize how easy it is just to share out. And it doesn't cost you anything, whether it's a live stream or whether it's a video or whatever. Now, granted, some of you don't have community tabs, and I got that. So it's a little harder to share out, but you can always tell a friend. Tell a friend to come on over, So I'm in my pajamas, and I hope you are too. And I'm going to try to do this tonight without glasses again. I can hear you now. I really appreciate you sharing mine out. Oh, you're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. Is it okay? Yes, you very well may, Rambling Hick. Absolutely. As long as we don't flood it with the same link, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not a growth channel, but you can grow here, and I give you that opportunity to connect with each other. You will find that on my channel, I have real friends, and I have people that come back time and time again, as well as brand new friends. Hey, Shangy girl, welcome, my friend. Wonderful to see you. And here's a blue wrench for you. And so, yeah, this is a great place to make friends. And like I always talk about, if you want a friend, be a friend first. And, you have to reach out to other people. So often people wait for other people to reach out for them. But you know what? In my in-person life, I'm always reaching out. And now once you've reached out, then people need to reach back. If they don't reach back, well, then move on. But initially, we need to reach out. Welcome, Vanessa. Welcome, my friend. And I'll give you a blue wrench too. So, yeah, my house. Hey, Carla. Wonderful, my friend. Are you going to come up with me, Carla? You're very, very welcome to. I'll drop the link if you would like to come up. Hey, Ralph. Welcome. Carla, I'm in my pajamas. So if you're in your pajamas, it's okay. So I'm trying to get back on here, kind of at least semi regular if I can. Hey, Heidi, welcome, my friend. Welcome. And, I kind of took off for about 2 weeks, partly because I was at the beach. Welcome, Coffee and Conversation, another wonderful channel. Let me give you a blue wrench. And I've been at the beach. I just got back yesterday. So you're going to still see some of my videos from the beach because, I make usually a handful of videos at a time. Welcome, MRTV. Welcome. And you're all very welcome to drop your link as long as you don't flood the stream. You're very, very welcome to, so you can all get to know each other. And Carla, I'm going to drop the invite so that you can come on up if you would like. Let me get that here. Okay, let's see. Let me see where I can go put it. Got to get the thing up here again. Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. And Heaven Sent, welcome, welcome to you. Carla, I put it up here. So you're very, very welcome to come up if you'd like to come up. I loved your conversation the other day. I was at the beach and I wasn't able to come up because my internet was slow. We have a beach house for those of you that don't know. And we go down there. It's on a little island, but the internet for us is not the best. And I think it's actually my computer that I have down there that's a little bit on the slow side. And Carla, I already put it in there for you. Okay. So, yeah, it feels great to be home. You know, my house is quiet tonight. And so I'm doing it from the kitchen. Normally I'm out on grandma's porch doing my live stream. And I just took my bubble bath. I did my 5-mile run. I did my full workout at the gym. I even waxed my floors. Part of my OCD is, you know, perfect floors, perfect windows, perfect car. So I waxed my floors with the scrubber. I have a floor scrubber. So those are done. And thank you, Shangy girl. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that you shared me out. See, it's so easy to share out. Oh, Carla, there you are. Hey.
Oh, I haven't been on your panel in a long time.
You've been gone. I mean, you know.
Well, no, I'm not gone. I go live every morning. I've just been really busy. You know, just busy.
Right. Well, I am so glad you're here. I am so glad you're here. You know,
I'm glad to be here.
I was at the beach on Monday when you came on and on your stream, and you were talking. The subject matter was so powerful, and I wanted to come up, but my internet was not real good.
Well, we're doing a part 2 on Monday.
Oh, great.
Monday coming up.
Great. You know, and I was amazed at how many people were talking. Carla did a subject on, what was it, depression,
mental illness, anxiety,
panic attacks,
bipolar. Yes. And I shared a little bit of my story. And a lot of the people in the chat, I was surprised to see how many, you know, suffer from depression, anxiety, a lot of ADHD. Gemma came up on panel.
Yes.
She's amazing. If you guys don't know Gemma's Journey Grace, she's an amazing girl. She came up on my panel and talked about autism. So we kind of did the spectrum of that subject. I think we're going to touch on personality disorders on Monday, because I think that ties in with the whole mental illness. And but I was surprised to see, and there was a lot of people that participated and don't feel comfortable talking about it. And I don't, for whatever reason, in other chats or in other places, because they're ostracized. And a lot of people shared their stories, and I was very appreciative of that. So,
well, your channel is a safe haven for people to come, and you also protect your people there, like I protect my people here.
Oh, absolutely.
If anyone is rude to somebody, they're blocked.
Yes, exactly.
And so, you know, we don't tolerate anything like that. So it's a safe place for people to come. And it's really, really important, because when you're discussing a sensitive matter like that, people are very vulnerable. They're showing their most vulnerable self. And so
one lady came in the chat and she said, I don't know if God sent me here, but I've been suffering severe anxiety since last night. And so we talked to her a little bit, and then she came in the very next day and she said, I want to thank you, because my anxiety level went way down just talking about it, just releasing that, you know, by talking about it helped her. And so, you know, if we help one person, by allowing them to talk about that, because it is a very important subject.
Yes.
And I see a lot of bullying on YouTube, and I see a lot of, and that affects people's mental health on here. So I
And
think
people
people don't.
feel alone, you know, when they're dealing with matters like that. They feel like they're the only one, or they feel isolated, or they isolate themselves because of the way they're feeling. And so they
Absolutely.
can come to a place, a channel, a live stream like what you had the other day. It was very powerful. And like I said, I wanted to come up, but I couldn't because, you know, I always have a lot to say.
Mhm. Well, yeah, and you would have been more than welcome to come up, because I really did want people to come up and share their stories, talk if they were comfortable. Now, I don't want to force anybody to come up if they're not comfortable, but you know, the ones that my friend that did come up and shared her story, you know, because we're all different. And yeah, so it was very powerful. It was a very good stream. I really was surprised at how many, and so you don't feel so alone too. Because a
Right.
lot of people feel alone when they're, you know, they suffer from mental illness, and you shouldn't. You really shouldn't, because a lot of
That's
us
right.
do.
And I think that Carla, I'm so glad to see that that's the direction you're taking, a new direction with your channel. Although I love how your channel's always been, but it's kind of like taking a whole new direction.
Mhm.
And and I really love that you're coming up with different kind of subject matter that you know. And I think we're always changing on here on YouTube. You know, we're always growing.
Mhm.
And I love that direction that you're taking. I think it's going to
Well,
really, really bring in a lot of people that relate.
mhm. And that's what I want to do. Like at least once a week, I want to do a stream on something that's important, something that is important to all of us on this platform. Whether it be bullying, um, like this week and this next week coming up, it's going to be about mental illness. Otherwise, you know, the rest of the days are just more or less chit chat, talking like morning coffee, and
Mhm.
nothing nothing too deep. But I want to touch on some subjects that interest me, and I think on the most part interest my chat. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I do ask them, you know, I will ask on my community post if there is a subject that people want to
Mhm.
talk about.
And
So,
I totally agree. I think that when you talk about subjects that you relate to,
mhm,
you know, because if you're talking about a subject that you don't relate to, you either have to bring on somebody that can talk about it because they relate to it, or you're going to kind of be lost. And so you're choosing subjects that at some level you can relate to.
right, right. And being that I have been diagnosed as bipolar, I could relate to mental illness in what I have experienced being bipolar. So I could talk on myself and only on myself, and what has helped and worked for me. So
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
would never talk about anybody else, but I was very pleasantly surprised to see how many people in the chat were more than happy to share their experiences and their, you know, a lot of people suffer from anxiety and depression, and um, yeah, so you're not alone. That's the thing, is
Mm-hmm,
you're not alone. And
mm-hmm.
that's what I want people to know. And the one that came in that was suffering from a severe anxiety attack, she was she was helped by that, because
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that we told her, you know, because she was very, you know, she was in the midst of an anxiety attack, and we just said, all we said was, it's going to pass. It's going to pass. That's all you can say. It's
Right,
going to pass.
right.
Because when you're, it can be terrifying, an anxiety attack. It can be
Mhm,
very terrifying if you've never
mhm,
had one. So, yeah.
mhm. And I think it was such a wonderful live stream, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. And you know, I never want to make light of anyone's issues, because we all have issues, and it's easy to be flippant and say, oh, just get over it, just get over it. My uncle had a panic attack and he got over it. You know, we have to be very careful when we talk to people, because we never want to be flippant.
It's also the way you say it. The way we said it to her is, you have to think, take deep breaths and think it's going to pass. It's going to pass. Because while you're going through it, you really do think you're going to die.
Yeah.
That is how that's the feeling you get. It's your heart, you know, feels like it's beating through your chest. You get dizzy. It's terrifying. It's one of the most terrifying things I've ever been through, as having a panic attack.
What was your worst panic attack that you can speak about? What was your worst?
My worst one was, I was out and about. I was in a store, and I can't even tell you what store it was. And all of a sudden I got lightheaded and I couldn't breathe. And it was the first time I ever had a panic attack. And I felt my heart beating through my chest, and I thought I was going to die. And I remember thinking, I have to get to my car and I have to get home. That's the only place I could, you know, think about going. But it was terrifying. It was one of the most terrifying things that I forgot. I'll never forget it. But I've had a few. I mean, I've had a few since then, and I know I've been given, through my therapist, given some tools of how to react when I have one. And so, you know, I know how to deal with them now.
And what do you think brought that particular one on? Was there something that brought it on?
I have no idea. It just, and I was young. I was like maybe 30 years old, and I don't know what brought it on. I seriously don't. I didn't even know what a panic attack was until that time, that particular instant. And it was just the most, all I can explain to you is, it's terrifying. It's like, you just don't, especially if you don't know what it is, it's just terrifying.
Yes.
So anybody that suffers from panic attacks, I can really relate.
You know, I'll tell you my story in relation to a panic attack. And it was deemed a panic attack that was not a panic attack. So if that makes sense, 11 years ago, when I suddenly took sick, and about a week before I took actually sick and passed out on the floor. And if any of you don't know that story, it's called brain aneurysm. I had an episode, 2 episodes actually, the week before. It was actually my very first symptom I'd ever had. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I was choking. My throat felt like it was squeezing me. I had never had a panic attack. So I called my sister, and who was up always in the middle of the night. And I said, Ruth, I said, you know, I can't breathe. I'm choking. She said, you must be having a panic attack. I said, I've never had a panic attack. And so we you know, determined that it was a panic attack because it sounded like a panic attack. So I can relate to what a panic attack feels like, except mine was actually, you know, it had a cause that was actually going on, you know, a brain aneurysm.
You had a physical reason.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. I didn't know it at the time. So, but it was this. It felt the same as a panic attack. You can't breathe. You're struggling to breathe. So then I had another one. So I went to the doctor and he said, well, you're having a panic attack. I'm going to give you some pills. So he gave me a pill and I went home and took it. And I never took another pill after that because I don't like pills. But he misdiagnosed me. He misdiagnosed me as a panic attack. But I can relate to a panic attack because it was so much like what a panic attack was. And so they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. But I have to tell you, then after I got sick, and I was sick for about a year, I had all kinds of symptoms. And I think there was panic tied into there because, you know, who wouldn't be panicky with what I had going on at the time? And I remember driving and I would feel like the front of my car was going to flip over the back of my car. Does that make sense? And I think that part was actually kind of panic because I was so scared of being sick. You know, I was so scared of being sick. And at that point, because now I, you know, had a real problem, but I was what they called a walking brain aneurysm, but we didn't know that for about 5 months that that was actually what the real cause was.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, panic attacks are horrible things. And you know, at the time, you don't know how you're going to get through it, but you do.
Yeah, and that's the lady that came in the stream that had said that she was just that God had sent. She said she thought God had let her find my stream because she was really suffering, and
Yeah.
of course I'm not a doctor or nurse. I don't know what to tell
We're
somebody.
just giving our opinions, is
The
what we're.
only thing I could say was it was going to pass. It was going to pass.
Mhm.
And she came in the next day and said, I want to thank everybody for the prayers. She goes, it really did help. So, you know, it made me feel good because we
Mhm.
helped one person.
Yep.
I think we helped multiple people because there was multiple people in there talking about anxiety and depression and things like that.
Mhm.
And it
Mhm.
was a very powerful, interesting dream. But
Oh, it
one of the
was so
girls,
powerful. It was so powerful. I loved it. Anyone
one
that doesn't have Carla's channel needs to be on Carla's channel.
one of the girls that was on my panel, behaving,
Yes.
she did a stream on Sunday night with her husband about when ADHD lives with OCD. And it was very interesting. And both her and
Yeah.
her husband were on panel talking about it. So that was another really interesting thing. And Gemma was on panel because a lot of the symptoms of ADHD are similar to autism. So she
Yes.
was talking about, you know, correlating that with ADHD. And Gemma's Gemma's Journey Grace is amazing. If you guys aren't sub to her, you
Yep.
should sub to her. Honest to God, she's amazing. This girl, I can't say enough good things about her.
Let me go back and check and make sure, because you know, they unsubscribe us. I get unsubscribed to you. Matter of fact, every day I'm unsubscribed to you, but I go look for you when you're on. Let me go look. It's Gemma's Journey, right? GEMMA.
Gemma's Journey Grace. She's
Gemma's
amazing.
Journey. There it is. Let me just double check and make sure. Uh-oh, they unsubscribed me. So I'm going to ring her bell, and then I'll have to go back. I'm going to leave it up, and I'll have to go back and
You
I'll
know,
have.
and we touched on PTSD also because that's all tied in with mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the cause of mental illness is PTSD. Um, in my case, um, they attribute some of my problems with PTSD, and I won't go into detail about why I have
Mm-hmm.
that because that's personal. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's, you know, there's all different reasons. And I wish more people on this platform would consider that before they um, bully people because you don't know what's going on in
That's right.
people's lives. And
And that
some
could be the
people,
tipping point. That bullying could send them over the edge, and that would
ex-
be
well,
horrible.
exactly. I mean, I've become pretty thick-skinned now, but at first my feelings would get hurt so much on here
Yeah.
if I got a bad comment, if I got a thumbs down. Now it doesn't bother me. Um, but the thing is, I can't remember where I was going with that.
You were talking about PTSD.
Oh, yeah. There's just so many different reasons for mental illness. And, you know, there's not one thing. Everybody is so different. And we touched on a few different things. But like I said, I only can talk about my own experiences with mental illness.
Mhm.
And I wish more people on this platform would understand that bullying and making fun of people's like looks or weight or age or
Anything.
whatever it is could could push a person
Yeah.
to do, I'm not saying to do harm to themselves, but to really put them in a bad headspace. And if people thought more like, okay, it's not just words on a screen. Sometimes those words can sting. So before you, if anybody's listening, if it comes up, they'll listen to this. Before you bully someone, just think how you would feel if somebody was saying those words to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you were talking about PTSD,
Mhm.
and what I wanted to say is that I relate to PTSD, and I think you know this story because I've shared it before. But when I was 20 years old, I was a young nurse. I was living in LA and near the beach, and that was back in the late 70s, or mid to late 70s, and I lived in an apartment complex. My garage was down a back alley. It was a dead end alley. And I came home. I worked the 3 to 11 shift, but I went out every night after and went discoing. Well, I was in my white nurses uniforms because back then we wore white nurses uniforms. And I was coming home. I was pulling my garage door down. It had like a cord on it that you pulled down. And three men jumped me. They jumped me and put a knife to my throat and threw me to the ground and started, everything, the whole bit. And that was where I did the video called The Angel in the Old Smoking Car. And I prayed out, I said, Lord Jesus, help me. And all of a sudden, this smoking car came down, old car came down that dead end alley in middle of the night. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. No one comes down there. This old man got out with a stick and shook it at those three men, and they got up and ran. In the meantime, I get up and my uniform is torn, everything is torn, and I ran to my apartment. And of course, the police came, everything like that. I had to go to a lineup to identify these guys. It was so awful. But I went through PTSD, and we didn't have a name for it back then. There was no name for PTSD back then. And for about 2 years, anytime I would hear a loud noise, anytime anyone would come towards me too quickly, I would fly back, backwards, because I couldn't sleep. I had terrible time sleeping. So PTSD is real.
Yes, it is. Um, and I do suffer from PTSD, but it's from, something that I can't even talk about still to this day. So yeah, we're working through that though with therapy and all
Well,
kinds of stuff.
PTSD can come from many reasons, not just from an incident like I had. I mean, I had a very traumatic childhood. And so, and I've talked in other videos about my traumatic childhood. I've done videos on that. And, I became a perfectionist as a result. I felt like I had to control everything. I had to make everything perfect. Anything that was broken, I had to fix. And
Mhm.
so, sometimes out of trauma can come very good things. I mean, part of the reason I am who I am today is because of all that I've been through. I wouldn't be who I am today had I not been through much of the trauma. So there's a good side to trauma, but the bad side was that I developed all kinds of habits. My windows had to be perfect, my floors had to be perfect, my cars had to be perfect, everything had to be neat and orderly. That was my way of controlling an out of control life. And so, PTSD can come in many forms, and it can carry with you in the form of like OCD and things like that.
And being bipolar, I mean, I used to be when I was diagnosed, and this was, my goodness, oh, it was a long time ago when I was diagnosed. I was ashamed. I was ashamed of being bipolar because I was like, everybody's going to say I'm crazy. And no, I'm not ashamed of it. And I've talked very openly about my bipolar disorder. Now, I've been very honest about it. I have my ups, I have my downs. Um, but I think talking about it has helped me, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Not talking about it, and hiding it makes it feel like it's like some kind of dirty little secret, and it's really not. It's really not. A lot of people suffer from mental illness in one form or another, whether it be just anxiety.
And it allows you to connect with like minds. You will be amazed that through that conversation, through that live stream that you had, and more like it in your future, I'm sure that you're going to talk about, that you're going to draw in a whole audience, a whole new set of friends that you didn't even know were out there, because people are looking for places that they can relate to. And you will make friends who can identify with your struggles.
And that's what I want. I want people like normal people. So normal, I don't know what normal is anymore, but the average person to be able to come in my stream, feel safe, be able to talk about whatever they want to talk about, whether it be mental illness, whether it be bullying, whether it be whatever the subject is, and feel safe that and if we have a subject that we're discussing, that they don't feel intimidated, that they can't say something. Anybody in my chat will be allowed to voice their opinion, and that's just how it's going to be, and that's how it has been. So
Anon says talking and being open does help a lot. It's a great start for sure. And people are looking for that connection to know what you're going through. Perfect. Yeah, see? Perfect. Anon said that perfect. And it's so right. And you're giving people that place, and I try to touch upon in my videos every kind of subject that I know something about, whether it's my own experience or the experiences of people that I have met. And even though I don't share their story, I don't divulge who they are, I have, enough knowledge that I can talk about it. And because people need a place that they can feel like they can talk. And your channel, Norgus, ours channel is very, very much like that. Now my channel is too, but I cover I cover every kind of topic, including this topic. And yet, my focus is more about, how to get to, living at that next level of your life, making your dreams happen and things like that. But I do talk about the hard topics, the very, very hard topics. And I mean, there's a lot of hard topics. People are going through a lot of difficult times. I've lost two friends' husbands died this past week, and kind of unexpectedly. Another friend had a stroke, and this is all in my age group. So people are really struggling out there. They're really struggling.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, when I go on in the morning, as you know, I'm on fairly early in the morning. People are getting ready for work. People are doing their thing in the morning, and they just want a place to go. And even sometimes people are on their way to work and they just want a stream to listen to where there's not screaming and yelling and cursing, and it's just pleasant chat. And that's what I try to provide. That's my contribution to YouTube.
Well, let me ask you, Carla, how have you noticed, since you've been making these changes to your channel, have you noticed that you've been attracting a different kind of audience, so to speak, or a different kind of people that are coming to your stream?
What I've noticed is a lot more people are coming in. I would have an average of 25 people come into my stream. Now it's like between 40 and 50. So yeah, it's and a lot of people are first time people that I've never, have found me on for one reason or another. I don't know if it's my titles or what it is, or by word of mouth, whatever. But yeah, I have noticed that. And I've been told multiple times in comments and in emails that people come to my channel because they enjoy pleasant conversation. They're not interested in watching a panel of hate or a panel of I try to be positive, and positivity, I think, maybe doesn't get the views that something like negative does, like the
But you get
drama.
solid views. You get solid views, and that's the big difference. You know, you're going to attract a different audience. A lot of people love that. I call them the bashing channels, and a lot of people love that. You know, I don't know if I told you this, but one night I kept getting these suggestions. You know how YouTube suggests to you, and I had like 4 different suggestions all in one evening. And it was basher channels. And these were all women in my age group that had the bashing channels that I'd never seen before. So I went to one of them. I thought, okay, YouTube keeps recommending it to me. I'm going to go to it. I don't know why, because my channel is all about positivity and motivation and inspiration. But I think what hooked in was the age group, you know, the women in their 60s. So I went to this channel. This woman was so vile. So vile. And of course, it was bashing other people's channels. She was so vile that when I got off, I was only on a couple minutes, you know, watching the content. When I got off, I wanted to just go take a shower to wash it off. And I couldn't get it. I couldn't unsee it. I couldn't unsee it. It was awful.
Well, like I said, it'll get you views. It'll get you probably super chats. It's like going to a wrestling match because people enjoy that. But I don't know. It's not for me.
It was hate. And then the other women, they were part of that, these other channels that kept getting suggested to me. And I mean, they were hateful to each other. And I thought, that's not what I want. My channel is about, you know, reaching and go, you know, we all get struggles, we all get issues, we all have all kinds of issues, but it's reaching for your best life in spite of your issues, you know, and that's what I try to always give hope to people. So my channel is about not denying problems, but going through problems and creating your best life.
I agree. Like I could, if I wanted to get 300 people in my stream, I could get it just by screaming and yelling and carrying on. But that's not what I want. I just don't.
Well, and I noticed that I know a couple of different people, and we kind of know the same people that are doing that. But I think it's wearing on them. I really do. Even I hear them talk about how it's wearing on them. And I think it's very hard. I think when you do that day in and day out to get the views and to get the subscribers, you're getting the wrong kind. You're not getting the right kind of subscribers.
I agree. I completely agree.
But your channel, Anon's just said that they connected to your channel. You're going to love Carla's channel. She has a wonderful channel.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, like I said, and you know, here's the thing about those bashing channels. You might get 300 people, 300 views, or whatever, 1,000, 2,000 views. But when you look at the chat, play back the chat, it's the same 3 or 4 people that are chatting in there.
Yeah.
If you go on my chat, there might only be 40 people or 30 people in there, but every single one of them are chatting.
Yep.
So that's the kind of channel I want. That's positive. That's interaction. That's what you want on your channel.
Carla, what time are you coming on in the morning? Because you were coming on like at 7:30, then you were at 8:30. And actually today, I have to tell you something funny. You know, I was in my pajamas. I didn't want to come on in my pajamas. So I went and I changed clothes. I got ready. I set up my camera. And right as I turned my camera on and I went over to look and get your StreamYard, you clicked off.
I think I went on at 9 o'clock today because I got up late. On Monday, I went on at 10 because I was waiting for a guest, and she couldn't get off work. She didn't get off work till 9, so she didn't want me to go live until 10. But I usually, like on the most part, go live at 8 o'clock in the morning. And usually now the average time I'm live is for like an hour and a half. So there's that. But,
yeah, an hour and a half is a long time. I mean, but the good thing is you have the other people up there with you caring. So,
Yeah.
it makes it a lot easier. But I was going to come up, but right at the end, it was like 11 o'clock and you clicked off.
Well,
So,
you're welcome. You're welcome to come up
well,
anytime. And you've been on my panel a few times.
yeah. Well, for me, what I do is now that I'm back from the beach and I don't have school during the summer, because I've opted not to go to school during the summer. As you all know, I'm in college and at 64 years old. And it's hard for me to say 64. I've been saying 63 and 62 for so long. And but now what I'm doing during the summer is I'm up late and sleeping in late. So, this morning I think I got up at almost 10 o'clock because I was up quite late last night. So that's why I kind of got on there late.
Yeah. Yeah. So I usually go on at 8 o'clock. And like I said, I'm usually on for about an hour and a half. Sometimes a little longer, sometimes two. I'm very seldom. I think last week, one or two times I was up for 3 hours. It depends on the subject and what we're talking about. It just depends. Some days you're on longer, some days I kind of like to put it in an hour and a half, because I find that people, people are okay with an hour and a half. So.
Well, that one time, the longest live I've done was like 4.5, 5 hours. And that was when Rolling was on and he was telling us all about all the things to do. He was fantastic. So it just went on and on and on. But I have to tell you, when I got off of there, I was so exhausted. I went to bed. I did. I went to bed because the lives take a lot of energy. They really, really do. When you're the host, not so much when you're the guest, but when you're the host, it does.
Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say is people will tell me, well, how hard can it be, Carla, for you to go live? I mean, all you're doing is talking. When I go by myself, I'll tell you what,
It's hard.
To hold a chat's attention for an hour, even an hour by yourself,
Yeah,
is hard. It's hard.
I don't think, Carla, though, that I've ever seen a chat that you've been in on your stream that you were entirely by yourself the whole time. Have you had one that's been
Oh, yeah. I've had a lot. Go back to around February and March. I had a lot of panels where I was completely by myself.
Now,
Completely.
was that because you wanted it that way, or was it because it just happened to be that way?
It just happened to be that way. Nobody wanted to come up, so I was just by myself. And I mean, you always find something to talk about for sure, but it's a lot harder. You don't have anybody to play off of. It's just more difficult. That's, but I much prefer having people on my panel. I much prefer not necessarily talking about YouTube. I kind of like talking about anything but YouTube, to be honest with you. Oh, well, I do. I mean, it's serious. Like, because I talk about, like, I watch my chat a lot, and I see what they're interested in. I try to like touch on whatever they're talking about in the chat. I kind of like to watch. And that's another thing, is in these big chats that there's 1,000 people in the chats. I mean, these creators that have 1,000 people in their chats cannot possibly know what's going on in their chat.
Right.
So I prefer a smaller chat when you can see everything that's going on. So that's
Well,
just me.
I think it does take a lot of energy when you are doing it by yourself. And, I mean, I do a lot of live chats by myself. And I mean, it really can be exhausting because you're trying to come up with, enough topics to talk about. I don't know how the growth channels do it. I'm not a growth channel, but I don't know how the growth channels do it because, with people coming in and trying to figure out what to talk about, because what do you talk about on a growth channel? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I couldn't do it. I could not do it because they go live sometimes 3 and 4 hours, and it's like, I'll tell you what though, and I'll tell you this story. I went live one day for 8 hours straight. It was an 8-hour live. It was
Oh
like
my,
going, that was like a job, going to a
it was like a
job.
marathon.
I was so tired after that live. And you wouldn't think so, because it's just like sitting in a chair and talking on a live stream. But it
Yeah.
was for 8 hours, and I can't even tell you what we talked about. Netflix, we talked about what we like to eat, we talked about recipes, we talked about, I mean, we talked about the gamut. It ran the gamut, and it was 8 hours. And I mean, and I had two people on my panel, so there was three of us on the panel. And I think at times there were four, and at times there were five. But we talked about everything, and it was the most fun I've ever had on a panel. But I'll tell you what, it was the most exhausting I
Yes.
ever
Yes.
was, because it was 8 hours. Come on, 8 hours talking. And you have to keep your audience engaged. And there was probably about 75 people in there, and for that whole time, practically that whole time.
Well,
And
let me ask you, Carla, what prompted you to start a YouTube channel? What prompted you? What was
well,
your, no, when I say start a YouTube channel, to go beyond just having a channel?
hey, Mr. Positive. Um, well, to be honest with you, I didn't really want to live stream. What started me is I would tell little stories. If you go back way back to the beginning of my channel, when
Mhm.
I didn't even have 100 subscribers then. I would just um, it was kind of vlogging, it was kind of like I would vlog, but tell stories about things, give my opinions about things. Not that, I mean, I would get like maybe 10 views or something on a video. Um, but it was, it was a lot of fun. And then, um, I think when I got to like 500 subscribers, that's when I said, I'm going to try to go live. And I'll tell you what, first time I went live, I was terrified. I was, I was terrified. I was absolutely mortified. Um, it was like, it brought me back to when I was in school. And in school, when the teacher tells you to go to the front of the class and read your
Yes.
essay,
Yes.
that's how I felt. That's the terror I felt. And I thought, you know, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and do it, because I
Mhm.
almost changed my mind like about 10 times before I went live that first time. And I went live, and I was like, after it was over, and I think I was only live for about 20 minutes or something.
Mhm.
But after
Mhm.
that live was over, I said to myself, well, that wasn't so bad. You
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
And then I started doing, like, I didn't do it every day like I do now, and then I started doing it periodically. And then I went to like every day.
Mhm. Mhm. So
So,
you've been doing live since around 500 subscribers.
yeah, 400 or 500.
Mhm.
Um, it was, yeah, something like, yeah, there wasn't 1,000. I didn't get to 1,000 until, last year sometime. When was it? January or something of last year.
Mhm.
And I didn't
Mhm.
get monetized. I got monetized pretty much a week after I got 1,000 subscribers. I was monetized, because
Mhm.
I had
Mhm.
already had whatever the watch hours, the minimum watch hours you needed. I had already had, because I was doing all those vlogs. So
Mhm. Mhm.
that counted as watch hours. So as soon as I applied for monetization, I got it. I was surprised. I
So
didn't even know I had it.
what does your husband think of it?
He knows it's my thing. He knows it's my outlet, so he's okay with it. Um,
Mhm.
he's fine with it. As long as it doesn't interrupt our life.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, as
Right.
long as it's not interrupting what we do in our life, he's fine with it. And
Mhm.
I don't let it. I only go live. Well, I'm on your panel now, and he's home, but I only go live in the morning when he's off to work, and that's it. I do my own thing. But he
So
does know. He does
what
know I do it
what was your worst experience
on YouTube,
on a live stream
on a live stream when I got
or
porn.
on YouTube, period?
When I got porn. When I got porn.
Yeah.
But as far as my worst experience, I think when I had 3 people on my panel and they basically jumped on me for something that I was trying to defend myself for, and they jumped, all 3 of them jumped down my throat, and
So
it was
what did
kind of
you
a,
do?
and I had 300 people in that stream, and
Wow.
it was 300 people that just wanted to see someone get bullied, and it was on my own channel, so I allowed it to happen. It's my own fault.
The people that were on your panel, were they friends or were they just people that?
No, they were not friends. There were
Okay.
people that just, well, one, I had voiced my opinion about her channel, so she wanted to come over. And so I allowed her, because if I'm talking about someone, I'm going to allow you on my panel. I'm not going
Right.
to be, because I think um, it's irresponsible to talk about someone and not allow them to come up and defend themselves. So I had given my opinion because I had gone on her panel and I felt like I was being bullied in her stream. And so I opened my big mouth and talked about it on my channel, which I'm allowed to do. So she came over and she brought someone with her. And then someone else came into my chat and she just disliked me. And so all 3 of them, it was 3 against 1, basically. So that might have been the worst experience I've ever had on YouTube.
So do you have moderators that could block them?
Yeah, they could, but they were already on my panel. So when you're on a panel, I mean, the moderators can't do anything. I allowed them to come up.
So what did you do when you felt attacked on the panel? What did you do? What was your response?
Well, I tried to defend myself, but I just got yelled over, so it didn't really do anything. And from what I saw, because I watched the chat at that time, which I shouldn't have done, but you're not going to change. Here's the thing. You're not going to change anybody's mind if they've already made their mind up about you. Doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't matter what the truth is. They've already made their mind out about you. You're not going to change their minds. So, you know, it is what it is. But that might be the worst. But I'm careful now who I allow up on my panel. I don't allow that kind of stuff. You'll get the views, like I said, you'll get the views for a stream like that. But is it worth it? And like I say, I suffer from, bipolar. It was terrible. I had a terrible experience on her panel, and I had a terrible experience with her on my panel, and she was blocked after that. I was done. I'm
Now,
like, I am not going to constantly defend myself when I know what the truth is.
I don't think that I've ever had now I've had trolls and I've had nasty people. I've had all that, but I've never had someone attack me on my panel. I don't know. I think if someone did that, I would probably just take them off the panel. I mean, I know it's sort of denying them the right to say whatever they have to say. But if they're being insulting, I would not tolerate that. I would probably just
Well, what they did was they themselves, the person that I actually did talk about, and I really didn't talk about her. I just talked about how I was treated on her,
yes,
because I felt I was being bullied by her, but both by her moderators and her chat. And listen, this was a big channel. This was a channel that had 1,000 people in streams, and I felt like I had been bullied. So I talked about it on my stream. And what they did was they came over, and she came over and she brought 2 people over, and she brought a pit bull, not literally a pit bull. but you know, a person that is really good at attacking people. So I basically didn't have a chance. It was like throwing somebody into a lion's den. And
Mhm.
so after that, I was done. I was done with her.
And
But
have you ever, what was the result of that? Did you ever reconnect with that channel?
never.
Mhm.
I unsubbed them. I unsubbed them, and I know I would never go on their panel again.
So what's
Um,
happened to that channel since?
well, she got exposed for being a fraud. So
Yeah.
she was
Carla,
scamming money. Yeah.
when I saw some of these channels, the night that I got all the suggestions, and why I got those suggestions, I have no idea. I mean, they were awful. I mean, there's
Hmm.
nothing that they're going to change. These are who these people are.
Hmm.
It's not like they're having a bad day or a bad week. This is who they are, year
And
in
you
and
know,
year out.
people in here say, well, this is not, I bet you this person wouldn't be like this behind the scenes. I'll tell you what, and I'm going to say this right now, and this is my experience. Some people are exactly what they are
Yeah,
on here. And if they're nasty, if they can be that nasty on a panel, trust and believe they can be that nasty in real life. And
absolutely.
I'm staying as far away as possible to those people. I do not want anything to do with them.
Yeah.
Um, you
Now,
know, so
I agree, Carla. What's interesting, Carla? Fortunately, no one does exactly like what I do with the wisdom because that's my gift and that's a very unique kind of gift. But I will tell you, I'm in the genre of women over 60, and there's a big market of women over 60 channels. I can tell you right now, very, very competitive.
um, yeah,
They're very competitive. Some of them, I mean, I've just seen them. They're very, very competitive. Now, some of them are amazing and wonderful. I don't compete with anybody, so I'm out of the competition game. I don't compete. I'm my own unique channel. I do my own thing, but I can see that a lot of them compete with each other.
people get jealous on. Did you know? Have you noticed that people will get jealous on here if you're doing well?
Yes,
I'm like, I'm like, I. Here's my thing. I'm happy when someone's doing well.
me too.
I promote people. Come into my chat. If you want to be promoted, I'll promote you. I'll
Hmm.
promote your channel.
Hmm.
Um, I won't wrench you up right away. I mean, I know Diana wrenches you up right away. But I will post your channel link in there. Um, I only wrench up people that come into my chat regularly, and
Yes.
that's my policy. Um, I wrench out pretty much the people that I see every day. So if you see a lot of wrenches in
Mhm.
my chat, it's because these are people that are my people that come in every day.
Yeah.
But I will, if someone comes in my chat and says to me, um, you know, I'm new here. Can you promote my channel? I don't have a problem. One of my moderators, I've got like 50 of them. Well, one of my moderators will link up your channel.
Hmm. Hmm.
But other than that, I'm not a growing channel. I don't do growing streams or whatever, but mostly do topics and we talk and we discuss things. And but yeah, I will always promote you. You have to ask though,
Hmm.
because keep in mind, you know, I don't see everything. Because if I'm telling a story, or I'm talking, here's my thing: I don't always watch the chat like I should, and for that I apologize. But sometimes I'll miss comments.
Yes.
But
Now, Carla, here's a thought. You have many, many wonderful stories, many that you've told in your earlier videos. Have you thought about bringing that aspect into your live streams?
I thought about going back and rewatching some of them because, to be honest with you, I don't remember half those stories. Because I started my channel like 2 years ago, so I would have to go way back. I'm thinking of doing playlists, and I don't know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking of doing playlists of all the blogs I did, because I did so many blogs. I
Now,
did
you know
so
what?
many
I
blogs.
figured out how to do a playlist. It's kind of complicated in a way, but I figured it out. I don't know if I could do it again, but I did figure it out. You can put all those videos, but like if you have a lot of videos like I do, I have 3,900. There's no way that I could go through those because it takes forever to go back. You know,
Yeah,
you just can't go back. You have to actually go through, go to the bottom and keep clicking and clicking and clicking. And
I
that would
know it takes
take,
forever.
yeah.
Even for me to find a live stream from a certain, a certain like sometimes I know I was searching for a live stream a couple of weeks ago, and it took me forever to find it. And I don't remember, because I just name my streams whatever, just because
Mhm.
I'll set it up like that morning. So sometimes it'll be just something as simple as Monday morning coffee, or you know what I mean? Like, so
Mhm.
I can't just type something in my search list and find whatever video I'm looking for, because I don't remember.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm thinking of just making a playlist of the vlogs that I did, because and maybe going back and rewatching some of those videos from 2 years ago.
You know, I've gone back and watched some of your early videos and I love them.
Mhm.
I think I watched your earliest ones, the ones when you first started out. And I love those. Those were wonderful,
Mhm.
absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
And, you know, just that was like, I don't know how many years ago that was, a year or two ago when you
it
started.
was like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
It's amazing when you go back. You know, now
I remember when my friend congratulated me because I reached 100. A
yeah,
hundred subscribers. She goes,
yes,
congratulations on the big 100. And she was already at 1,000.
yes.
And I'm like, well, I'll never get to 1,000. And less than 8 months later, I was just, I was at 1,000.
1,000. What's
And
the fastest growing channel that you saw go from nothing to a lot? What was the fastest growing channel that you started out with them, that you kind of started out somewhere in the beginning with them when they were not, didn't have very many people?
um, now I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, what is one of the fastest growing channels that you've seen along the way? So, for example, I watched one channel that I saw go from like when I first caught on, they had like 400 subscribers, and now they're like 100,000.
Okay, now I'm most of those channels that I see that grow really fast and I watch, I'm in different communities on here, but I see a lot in the tiny house community
Yeah,
grow very quickly. Also true crime is a big thing. I've seen there's a channel on here called Stop the Madness, and last week he was at 1,000 something, and I think this week he's almost at 8,000.
oh my
So
gosh.
I think he's going to um, I think that channel is going to reach big numbers.
What does he talk
Absolutely.
about? What does he talk about in there? Is it true
True crime.
crime?
True
Okay.
crime. True crime. And he is fantastic. Fantastic. He's got a really good channel, but he went from, I think when the very first video I watched of his, he was 1,800 or 1,700. He had less subscribers than me, and now he's at, let me check, because
Wow.
I want to see what he's at now, because I think when I checked um the last time it was almost 7,000. Um let me see. He's at 7,230 from
Yes.
1,000 and 1,700 or something was what he was at. So yeah, he's growing extremely fast. But here's the thing. he does his research. And if you're doing true crime, if you're going to do true crime, you have to do your research on stuff. So
now what is one of the channels that you saw that was doing really well that ended up going in the toilet? You don't have to give its name, but you know.
Well, there's been a few that I subscribed to that have just disappeared off the face of the earth. Maybe I'm trying to think now. That was doing really well.
You know, a lot of the growth channels have disappeared or are just not doing.
Well, I think they're going against, they're going against YouTube policies. And I think what the problem with the growth channel, and this is my problem with that, is that people don't, they say they're subscribing, but they're not subscribing. And then you're subscribing back, you're leaving a comment, and they're not doing what they should be doing. So YouTube takes their subscription away.
Yes. Welcome, Bansky. Welcome.
Hi, Helen. It's a bit early in the UK. It's 3:43 a.m. I've just got in from work, but I'll show a bit of support and come say hi to you.
Well, thank you so much. How are you doing?
Better now. I finished the night shift. A lot better. Believe me, I'm on my night's first coffee.
Now, are you in Wales?
No, we're Midlands, Middle England, near to Manchester.
Okay, that's in England, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you're more up north, right?
Yeah, I'm north.
Yes, I love England. I've been to England. It's wonderful.
I love a lot of places more than England at this present time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was listening to your conversation about people. I mean, some people are they're born disrespectful anyhow, even if it's their channel. I've done it. I've gone on somebody's channel and they've been friends. And I watched people in the chat rip me apart, and I ignore it. I know I'm better than it, so I just leave. I just don't go back.
Tell us a little bit about your channel.
Well, I've got two. This is my little one. This is my one where I do the same probably as Carla. I don't choose a path. I talk about whatever topic comes to my head that day. The other one, that's got 3,500. That's all about Thailand and Pattaya and clubbing and islands and the people. That's my other channel. So basically got two channels about me. This one now I'm on, I love this channel because that's it. I can do what I want on it. The topic can be about anything. I mean, anything. I mean, I've talked about ghosts. I've done a spirit box on there. I've talked about UFOs, anything.
You know, I have a ghost. I have a haunted house.
Oh, I had I did a live stream 2 weeks ago. Within 4 days, it had 1,000 views. Yeah. Because I got somebody come through on the spirit box, and they didn't expect it, and it wasn't. It didn't sound too nice. It didn't sound too good.
One of my subscribers, or one of my people that come into my chat, she did something, and she caught something on an EVP that was so clear. Yeah, it was one of the clearest things I've ever heard.
The ghost box was so clear, and the white noise was going so quick, it wasn't picking up no radio stations, and it just came through so clear and so not happy. So, and it was in a graveyard as well, so that didn't help.
Can you post your link in the chat? Because I'd like to subscribe to you, because I really enjoy channels like yours.
My channel, I mean, it can go a bit lunacy, but it doesn't happen that often. I don't really get that many trolls in my channel because I don't really like drama. I don't like cause drama. I don't try to cause drama anywhere else. So, yeah, I will do it though. I will do it. I'm just confined with my channel.
I try to stay away from it every once in a
while.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Subject.
They use the channels that grow. They say, "Oh, he's growing," but normally it's drama channels, and I don't really like drama channels. You know,
I despise it. I despise the drama channels. It's I call them bash and dash. because that's all
Yeah.
they do is they bash each other. They have panels of hate, and I'm just not about that. I just think there's more important things to talk about than to bash somebody on a panel.
Well, there's my link for you, Doc. It says, yeah, I mean, there's a lot more. I listen to people bashing away or trolling away at each other and thinking there's a lot more important things in life than doing that at the present time. It's like, you know, why don't people wake up and not act like human beings or, you know, show about humanity? But they don't. They don't. They think too much about themselves and not about anything else. And I can't suffer people like that. I don't tolerate fools.
The thing with me is, do you find that YouTube is getting stricter about things that you can talk about and things that you can't talk about?
In a way, yes, but in a way, you aren't getting strict with some things I think they should do, like fake accounts. You know, they should be stricter with that because there's so many people who have fake accounts just to troll people, and they should be strict with that.
With words.
Yeah,
I mean, I have to unblock words in my channel all the time. Now, I'm thinking to myself, but you allow these bashing channels to just
get away with it.
decimate someone, and you're going to block a word like shit on my channel.
I've got nothing blocked on my channel.
It's way worse to see somebody get annihilated than it is to say one or two cuss words, like, you know. I just don't understand YouTube or bullying. The bullying, I just can't.
The bullying, I hate the bullying. I mean, I've come across some channels and I've never known them. Just flicked on there and I've listened to the panel just rip each other apart and thinking, what's this topic about? And it's just trash talking each other. Yeah. And I think, yeah, I'll just watch it 5 minutes and just go. I think it's just a joke and just go. It's not worth it. It's not worth tuning in. If you can't make content or any civil conversation, don't bother doing it.
It's correct. I agree. It's just sad to me. I mean, yeah, they've grown. I've seen some channels grow just because that's what all they do, and they get a lot of views for it. I'm thinking these people, it's like going to a wrestling match. They just want to see someone get beat up, and it's I'm sorry, I don't find that entertaining. I don't.
I actually like WWE. I mean, that's entertaining. Some of these channels, that's not entertaining at all.
No, not at all. And I don't want to see someone cry or get bullied. That, to me, it's not.
I've stepped in once when I've seen that. I've seen a girl come on a panel. I know this girl. She's got a great art, and somebody started ripping her apart and covering her everything under the sun. And it was an American. He was well known. And I stepped in and I said a lot of words, and he suddenly got his tail and ran. Because I don't tolerate bullies. I do not tolerate bullies. It's wrong. If you've got nothing now to say, don't bother say it. Just don't bother say it. Especially when you don't know the person. It can hurt the person so much.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think on my channel, I know for sure that everyone has to feel safe, and any kind of disrespect, I completely block the person, or they're completely removed right away. If they're on the panel, they're removed right away. And if they're disrespectful in the stream, they're blocked. So I normally don't have a problem. I've had some trolls before, but I don't know, they usually come and go. And the trolls that I've had are people that I've blocked. So they've come back, but that's it. The only time I ever had a real troll, I had a bunch of trolls because I did, as Carla knows, I did the one subject. It was a true crime type of thing, and it was a big story. And I live in the town next to the family. And so I felt I related to it. So I did a true crime. And this is in the very, very beginning. And I can tell you, it drew in hate from both sides of the fence. And after that, I just completely eliminated it. And that was it.
Diana, I'm going to have to hop down because I have to get my beauty sleep before
I go live. Thank you. I love you. And thank you for supporting. Thank you.
Yeah, Carla.
It's nice meeting you, Bansky.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can post your link in the chat. I'd like.
It's posted. I posted it.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I see
posted
it. Okay. You guys have a good night, and
Thank you very much.
hopefully I'll see you in the morning. Bye.
Thank you, Carla. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Everyone, that was Carla and friends. So if you're not connected to Carla, please connect. So Banksy, you do, some of your videos are about ghosts. Is that right?
I did a last stream. It was about I did a last stream doing the ghost box session.
Yes.
What I did is normally every 3 weeks I go to the graveyard to see my mother and father. So I was planning doing some sort of night stream and do a ghost box session in the graveyard. I already had permission. My parents are buried there. So I thought one particular Sunday I'll go down, take some flowers, and try to do a quick spirit box session, just a quick one. So we did that. But unusual thing is, as I walked into the church, flowers in one hand, got me 2 phones in the other hand, and my ghost box. As I turned my phone on for my messengers and put my mobile data on, it got that whistle for a message like that. Now on the right hand side of me in the church, I heard this plain as day, just whistle go like mocking me. And I looked around, I couldn't find no one. I thought my son was hacking on me. And he's 30 odd. I thought, he's hacking on me. He knows my channel. And I went look over the fence, see if he was there. He wasn't there. I phoned him up. He was at my door. So I thought, that was, it was really strange, like funny, but strange. So we carried on. I went to my mother and father's grave. I went to the oldest part of the cemetery and said, right, I've come here to respect you. I'm going to do a ghost box. I heard the whistle again on a notification. They heard the whistle again. I thought, somebody tormented me. So we decided to turn my ghost box on. It's so pure and clear as there's no basic radio channels on there. It's just quick. And something came through, all the 5 lights lit up, and it didn't sound human. And it was more threatening. So within a matter of seconds, my battery drained on my phone. I couldn't even knock my live stream off until I got home. The battery drained on my ghost box. That drained. It was just weird. It was just weird. And that was on my live stream. So yeah. I would try anything because I believe in ghosts and I believe in UFOs. I believe in spirits. My mother was a spiritualist.
Mm-hmm.
I know I can sense them. My daughter can sense them really good.
Now, do you believe, from your experience, do you believe ghosts are from the good side of the fence or from the not good side of the fence?
I think they can be both. Some can be really militant.
Yes.
I mean, the one I felt come across in that graveyard did not feel too good. It did not feel really like happy to me be there.
They're struggling with something. Do you think they're remaining here because they're struggling?
Yeah, in a way. Well, the militant ones, it's like when I left. 3 times I said to him, you're not allowed to follow me. You're not allowed to come on with me because I didn't want an attachment. And yeah, I do take a lot of measures before I go. Before I go, I completely clear my mind of anything. I don't want to focus on nothing except for just leave completely open for anything. It's usually best to way is not focus on what you're going to do. Focus on not what you're going to do. I just focus on going to see my mother and father. Put the spirit box right in the very back of my mind. So I'm completely clear when I do it. Otherwise, you can listen into things that are not there. You can be not focused on what you need to be. And plus, it can be a stupid thing to do if you don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've never had any experiences with ghosts, but I've had experiences with angels. And I've had quite a few experiences with angels and with miraculous type of events. And so, but I have not had any that I'm trying to think back on any experiences with ghosts, but I have with angels. Have you had any experiences with angels? Good angels?
I call them an angel one way. Yeah, my mother's garden angel, literally. I can always feel the presence most of the time. Long cut story short, when my ex-wife was pregnant, way before she got pregnant. I woke up sweating one night. My wife put me up and said I was shouting, "It's going to be a girl. It's going to be a girl." I saw my mother at the end of the bed holding the baby daughter. 3 months later, I was pregnant and had a baby daughter.
Yeah.
But I believe my mum's always close to me. Always close to me.
Yes. Yes.
Always
And
going with me.
you know, one of the things, now this is interesting. I don't know if you would call it an angel or a ghost, but I would say it's more of an angel. But whenever I lose something, I asked my mom to go help me find it. Now I had about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I had a card that was, a business card from someone from about 25 years ago. And I was looking for this business card. Now, my mother has passed. And so my mother didn't have any connection to this person. She never knew this person. She didn't have anything to do with this person. The few belongings that I keep of my mother's is her wallet and her glasses. And her wallet is way in the back of my closet. I always keep that as something I just keep because it was hers and she carried it with her. So I said, Mom, would you please help me find that business card with that telephone number from when I lived in Europe? And my mother had, like I said, had no connection to this person. And spiritually, I felt my mother speaking to me, go to my wallet. And I went in back of my closet. I went to her wallet and there was that card.
I believe it. That's how they can focus you. That's how they can focus you. I mean, I've got an earring now here. I've got an earring in, gold earring with a cross. Never take it out. Always had it in since 14. It's my mum's. I never take it out. I've got my ear pierced one time, 14. Never take that gold earring out of my ear. Not for nothing. Yes. So I've always got a part of my mum with me. Always got a part of my mother with me. But my father's the same. I love my father to bits. I miss him so much. But parents are parents to be good parents. I lost them young, and
welcome, Lady Mac. Would you like to come up? I would love to have you come up if you would like to. Let me know, and I'll put the StreamYard in. When I took sick 10 years ago, and I told that story in many videos where I ran into a wooden hanger, plowed to the floor. I developed what was called a brain aneurysm. But at the time, I was a walking brain aneurysm. So I wasn't like a normal brain aneurysm that, you end up comatose or dead. Yeah. And I was walking with all these symptoms and we didn't know what it was. We didn't relate it to the hanger. So I was really, really deteriorating and I was really sick. And this is, my kids were little. I was trying to be a mom. My mother had passed 2 years prior to that. And my mom came to me in a dream and she said, I was on a gurney. They had my head shaved. They were taking me into surgery. I said, Mom, why are they doing that? She said, the doctors need to hurry up. You have a lesion on the left side of your brain. She used the word lesion. And I didn't know what lesion meant. I thought it meant cancer. And so anyhow, when I drove myself to the hospital on Thanksgiving weekend, I drove my own self to the hospital because my husband was, watching the kids, and I just drove. And I went there, and I went in there, and I said, I think I'm having a stroke, but I'm not sure. My mother said that I have a lesion on the left side of the brain. And they said, well, is your mother a doctor? I said, no, she passed 2 years ago. So they put me in the CAT scan. And that was the first CAT scan they had done in about, in all those months that I had been sick for about 4 months. And I come out of the CAT scan thinking that they're not going to find anything. And the doctor comes to me and he said, your mother was right. You have a lesion on the left side of your brain. And it was a broken blood vessel. And exactly what my mother had said. So my mother had come to me in a dream.
That does happen. I do get it quite often. I just don't speak about it. I do get it. But it's strange as it's always my mother. I've only sensed my father a couple of times. But my mother, I can always seem to sense her. Not that I was a mother's boy. I think it's just a tragic way I lost her. And I was always connected to her that strongly before. It's like when, it's like I was jiving once. I can actually jive. And somebody said, where the hell did you learn to jive? I said, my mother. My mother learned me when I was 6 years old. I was learning how to jive with her. So
Mhm.
it's one of the things. My father didn't know how to dance. He got 2 left feet, so she picked on me to jive with her because she loved dancing.
Mhm.
And we always had that bond. We always had that bond.
Yeah.
And well, I'm glad I learned how to do it, and I can still do it. But,
I think the strongest forces that we have spiritually here, here on earth are our parents and our children, and a spouse. I think those forces are so strong. And my mom, I always say my mom is always with me, even though she's been passed for about 12 years. And you never a parent loves their children, and I believe that when they go to the other side, they become pure. Any problems, any issues that they had, they become pure. They're a spirit.
no, so it's. I mean, I think sometimes. I mean, I try to keep my children on the straight and narrow. Now they're older, I feel like they put me on the straight and narrow sometimes. But I live for them. I live for me kids. I mean, I went through. I mean, I went through a messy divorce. She cheated on me 3 times. I never done it once because my mother was Catholic. But even though I wasn't brought up in Catholicism, it's one of them no-nos to me. As you don't go with another woman. End of. You're married for life. When you fall in love, you're married. That's it. You're married for life. But my father wasn't there to get me through all the grief because he passed away 5 years before it started happening. The signs were there. I think I didn't want to see it on the foot. 3 times she did it to me. And on the 3rd time, the kids rebelled against her because, I was going through a lot of health issues. And the health issues I was going through, I didn't tell her, I didn't tell the kids because I kept them to myself. But that was me protecting, as far as I'm concerned, I was protecting my kids and my ex-wife. And when they did come out, she didn't believe me. And then it came out, she found out I was talking the truth. Then she realizes, oh, shit, he was going through that. Some people are so shallow. You usually find out the ones closer to you sometimes can be really shallow. Well,
I just did a video today. I haven't put it up yet. It's called Betrayal. And, I try to touch upon every kind of issue because my channel it's a positive, uplifting, live your best life channel. But part of living your best life channel is dealing with the hard issues. If we deny the hard issues, we can't get to our best life. And so I do one called Betrayal, and to live through betrayal. And I think betrayal can come in many, many different forms. It can come in any kind of relationship. It's not just romance. It could be anything. And it's very challenging to deal with it. Some relationships can survive betrayal. Most cannot.
Well, look at me. I'm happy now. I didn't think I ever get over it. I was reeling off the tracks for a year off the tracks. My kids kept me together. And now it's like, I'm not looking for anyone, but I'm happy. I'm really happy with myself. I'm happy with looking at my kids every day. My daughter's 35th the other day. It's my son's 34th on Saturday. And my grandkids are healthy. And I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? I'm happy with my family.
Your best life. And, I just did a video. I put up a couple of videos over the last couple of days called Being a Magnet. And, often we don't have to do as hard of a job or hard work. We all have to work for what we want. I'm not saying what we don't, but often we can attract what it is that we want by preparing ourselves and living our best life. So what you're saying is you're living your best life. Now you're living your best life and you're not looking for anything. And that's often when it comes to you, is when you're not looking because you're busy living your best life.
Well, I said that because my children get worried about me sometimes. In the way they do, because they think I'm lonely. I say, I'm never lonely. I got you lot around me. And I said that to my son and my daughter. I says, I don't look for nothing. It'll happen when it happens. Everything's got a thing on life. It happens when it happens. Don't look for nothing. That's when it slams you in the face. Well, it's what your parents should say. Good things come to people that wait, or good people that wait. And it does. It does. I mean, I'm grateful for everything I've got around me. I'm grateful for everything. And I, it's just like me at work. I'm a pretty happy person at work. No matter if it grinds me down, I still try to grin and bear it and get through it. And I always find if I'm happy with work, I can see people miserable. By the end of the night, they're usually happy with me because it's passing on. It's like it can become contagious. You've got to smile at people and be civil, and it can be contagious. It does work. It does work. I find that quite a lot.
Well, life takes work, and I think it takes preparation. If we want something to come to us, we have to be prepared for it. I often say an opportunity will pass us by if we're not ready for it. And I believe in living life as a magnet. I believe that often we will attract what it is that we're putting out there. So if we're putting out good vibrations, good feelings, good emotions, good stuff out there, ultimately we're going to attract that back. But we've got to be careful not to attract the crap to our magnet, so to speak. And there's a lot of crap that can get stuck to our magnet if we let it. So at the first sign of anything that's crappy, I eliminate it from, my life. And that can be a crappy relationship. It could be a crappy job. It could be a crappy anything, because once we allow that crap to take hold, then it will position itself and it's much harder to get rid of it. So I believe in attracting the right things that we want and being very.
I've had a couple of negative bits of crap like that, but I'll soon get rid of them. That's it. I'll soon realize them and shunt them away very, very quickly and get out of my life.
Right. That's what I do. I mean, like for example, if I meet somebody and they want to become a friend, and I'm talking in person, and I detect that something's not right, I immediately politely get away from it, because I don't want to let it get any further into my life. Because once you let certain things, habits, or even a job, you take a job that you hate, but you're taking it. Sometimes it's easy to get stuck on that job indefinitely, because then you buy a new car. Now you've got the bills. Now you've got to stay to the job. So you want to be careful that things are not right for your life, to eliminate those right from the start. Otherwise, they build roots, and it's very hard to uproot after that.
And just tell that to a lot of people. Sometimes you can see the negativity on other people rubbing off, and no matter your friends, no matter how you try to tell them and give them free advice and good advice, it doesn't sink in until it's too late. And it's like, I should have listened to you. You're thinking, well, I did tell you. I did scream out and tell you. But you can see it, but all you can do is try out by trying to tell them. But some people don't see it coming until it's too late.
That's right.
Can I get coffee, sweetie?
Yeah. I'm going to go in just a moment. Lady Mick says, I need to go and get a few things done. Great conversation. Thank you, Diana and guests. Good night from Vancouver. Thank you so much, my friend. And you have an amazing channel, and I love sharing you out. So whenever you have a new video, if you can just make a comment in under one of my videos that you got a new upload, I will love to share you out, because you're an amazing channel, an amazing woman. And I love to share great people out. I don't share crappy content out. I only share great content out. And I'm a big sharer of great content. So I love to share your channel, my friend. So thank you for being here. Thank you so much. And I am not going to be on here much longer myself, because I am a little bit tired now. Yesterday I got home from the beach, and I was at my beach house, and now I am back home. So you may get some delayed videos in there from the beach yet, because I usually make, about 10 videos a day, put them in the queue for if I need them. And so, they're my wisdom videos, because that's my primary purpose for being on YouTube, is to share what I call my gift of wisdom and inspiration. I don't give advice or suggestions, but I do have 5 channels, and anyone that is not connected to my 5 channels, the links are actually pinned to the top of the comment section or pinned in the description box on this video. So you can go there, click on each link. And one of me is like 5 new friends if you connect with all 5 channels. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody being here. So thank you. Vansky, I'm about ready to go because it's bedtime
Okay,
here.
sweetie.
What time is it where you're at?
It's 4:11 a.m.
Oh my gosh, do you have to be up in the morning or do you work
No,
at night?
I do night shift. I've just finished. That's why I'm on the coffee.
Wow. What time do you go to bed?
I usually go to bed around about 6 o'clock, something like that, 6 a.m. About
So
another 2 hours.
Are you a night owl? Are you a person that's up all night and sleeps during the day?
Yeah. Unless it's a Saturday. On Saturday, I get Saturday and Sunday day off. I usually get about 2.5 hours sleep, run around and see my kids and my grandkids, and I usually fall asleep about 10 o'clock p.m.
Would you be that way? Would you be that way if your job was not a night job, or do you like being a night person?
Well, I've done the night shift the past 17 years. I'm like a vampire, I think, now. But I find it odd when I go on my holidays if I'm going anywhere in Europe, to fit into the sleeping pattern for about a week. For about a week, that sleeping pattern is still there. But that's about 2 weeks against that normal sleeping pattern until I come back home. Then it's hard to get back into the night sleeping pattern.
Yes. Yes. I'll tell you that I love, my sister was a night person, and I have several friends that are night people, and they love it. They love it. And you know what? I would love to be a night person, but I have so many daytime commitments, I can't be a night person. But I love being up at night. I used to paint all night long because I'm an artist, and my best time to paint was like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning.
I find myself doing a bit of myself, usually shading. I like shading because I think it's relaxing.
Yeah. Well, it was wonderful having you up here. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad you asked to be up here. And please, whenever I do a live stream, please come up again. You're fascinating. And I'm sure you have a lot of stories to tell.
No, thank you for having me, Dana. Hope you have a good one, sweetie. Take care. God bless. God bless all the chat.
Thank you. And I'll hopefully see you soon again. Thank you.
Good night. God bless all.
Good night. Well, everyone, I am headed for bed. It's my bedtime here. And so I thank you for coming. May God bless you. And I hope to talk to you soon again. And make sure to subscribe to all 5 channels and let me know that you did so that I can connect back with you as well. So may God bless you and thank you for coming. And I hope to talk to y'all soon again. So good night.